Hi, I'm Shawna Percy, published author, speaker, and advocate. Today I'd like to talk to you about anger. Have you ever been angry? Because I certainly have been. In Ephesians 4, verses 26 and 27, it actually tells us to be angry, but do not sin in your anger. Do not let the sun go down upon your anger, lest the devil get a foothold on our lives. The one thing I never realized about this verse before, though, was that it said, do not let the sin go down upon your anger, meaning mine. It's my emotion to own and mine to deal with. The only time I'd really heard that verse used before was in the context where I needed to sort something out with somebody else, and often it was used in the wee hours of the night when I was already really tired and low capacity and could barely think straight. So the day I realized that this verse was talking about my anger and me needing to go through my process and sort through my emotions, I felt like it gave me control back over my emotions and my anger because they were mine to sort through. One of the stories I'd like to share with you today is a story about somebody who I care deeply about. This is somebody who has lived with financial issues for a very long time, to the point where they've been near bankruptcy and even been suicidal over the issues to do with their finances. And because I care about this person so much, I really let my concern for them consume me. I wanted to control the situation. I wanted to take over and help them see the light and help them understand how they could have an improved quality of life by better understanding what to do with their finances. But the trouble is, because I let that feeling consume me and me wanting to control them, it consumed me with anger. And it took up all the space in my heart to continue to love them until the day that I realized that this feeling is robbing me and it's robbing our relationship. And so I let go of that feeling because I came to understand that I may never change this person as much as I have concern and care and love for them. And so the only way that I'm going to potentially improve our relationship is to let control of the reins and let love and grace back in for this individual. And so that's what I did. And by allowing those feelings to come in, there was no longer so much room for all the anger that I had carried around for so long. I think perhaps that's one of the reasons the Bible tells us not to let our anger last for more than a day if we can. I think the point is for us not to carry it around for a lifetime. And yet at the same time, it is important for us to feel these emotions. If we pretend they don't exist, if we bury them, I really believe that they can come back out either in the form of illness, or perhaps we get angry down the road, but we don't understand why we're angry. We can no longer put our finger on that thing that's causing this feeling to rise up in us. So it's really important that we are feeling that emotion in the moment. One of the things that I learned from a course that my 5-year-old daughter took called Healing Little Hearts was one way that we can calm down is to breathe in the cookies and blow out the birthday candles. And it might seem like a little thing to do, a trivial thing, but boy, that can make a real difference to me to have a timeout, not as a punishment, but as a moment in time where I can regather my thoughts, I can figure out what to do with the emotions that I'm feeling. Also, when I think about creating room in my heart and in my life for the good feelings to come in so that the anger doesn't take a foothold on my life, it kind of seems like a garden to me. And if I think about a garden, I see things growing in the garden. There might be flowers and vegetables, nourishment, but also weeds. And sometimes weeds aren't a bad thing. They can actually be used for good purposes. But if we let the weeds take a foothold in our garden, if we let them take root, they can take over the whole garden and they can choke the goodness that exists. And so if I think about dandelions, dandelion leaves can actually be used as a substance that can cleanse the toxins from our liver. And so when we pay attention to them and when we take them away from the garden, but perhaps create a different purpose for them, then they can help get rid of the negativity, the toxins that exist in our lives. And at the same time, they're not choking out all the nutrients that we have to garnish from the vegetables that are growing in the garden. And so it leaves the garden with space and room for all that good stuff to grow. And yet at the same time, we've taken note of and dealt with the stuff that would otherwise just overrun all that good stuff and wouldn't allow it the breathing space it needs to grow. So my hope for you as you're watching this is that your gardens would flourish, that you would take note of the weeds that are growing in your garden and repurpose them. Use them for the good that can come from them, but don't let them take root in your life. Allow the space to exist in your garden to welcome love and grace back in, because we were never meant to carry the heaviness and the burdens that can be created through the weeds when we don't take the little bits of time in the beginning to just kick them out of there because they don't really belong there. So may your gardens flourish. May you allow yourself to be angry, but don't allow the sun to go down upon your anger.